and welcome to another Blu-ray discussion video. And I want to do a full review of this one. I always say that. I know I always say that, and sometimes the time just gets away from me, or I film it and I just don't have the time to edit it. But I wanted to talk about it, even though I just talked about it in my top 10 of 2024 video, with my top 10 Eureka releases of 2024. Spy number 301 in the Masters of Cinema collection, The Secret of NIMH. And I wanted to just come on here and just talk about this film, this Blu-ray, and also animation from Eureka, which is very scarce. I think they did, is it Wizards or Wizard by Ralph Bakshi, just a general Eureka release. But apart from that, I mean, it's been 3 in the MOC line total. So it's not something that happens often. And when this was announced, I was like, wow, I'd never seen it. I don't think I've even heard of this film. I may have heard of it. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I've heard of it. And but I was like, wow, Don Bluth animated film in the MOC collection. It's like, well, we've talked a lot about, what denotes, or what justifies a master of cinema. Once we have certain films entering the collection where arguably we're not dealing with a real master of the craft. Don Bluth, I would say, fits the bill. So that's all fine. That works for me. But definitely like an off kilter choice, and I love it. Like, I just was really surprised when they announced this, and was really looking forward to watching it. I'd seen bits of All Dogs Go to Heaven when I was a kid, and The Land Before Time was one that I really loved. And I remember my grandpa actually, he made sure to record, I think, all 4 of I think it was 4 of the films. I think there's been even more than that, but there was like a marathon of the first 4 movies on one of the Sky channels, and I asked him if he could record all of them for me on one tape, which he did diligently. And I have fond memories of that. I haven't gone back to that in such a long time. And then there's American Tail, which I don't think I ever saw, but I saw Fievel Goes West, the sequel. Well, I feel like I'm just inventing that. Yeah, Fievel Goes West, right? Yeah. Again, very vague memories of that, but this one was really off my radar. And, animation to me is something that is really special. Singular, really. Just there's nothing else like it in film, in art, I think. What you can do with an animated film is really boundless. But also it's something that takes so much time, effort, money to kind of produce. And this film was really emblematic of a shift in the history of animation, really. Because American animation had such a monopoly on the world, and really was, Disney was like stamped down as the place, the animated film. And, when I was a kid, it was Disney. You didn't really have any other kind of, there'd be other films that came out in video, and it's like, well, is it Disney? I think even a Don Bluth film, Anastasia, is like, well, is it a Disney film though? You almost get kind of brainwashed as a kid, like that brand kind of recognition. Is it a Disney product? And now, of course, Pixar kind of revolutionized the entire animation industry with Toy Story. And they're beginning to with their shorter films done in CG, but Toy Story just changed the game completely. You look at animated films now, that's what it is. Primarily, it's 3D CGI rendered animation. But eventually that became kind of, bought and kind of assimilated into the Disney brand, and now it's Disney Pixar, and so. But anyway, so back in like the 70s, Don Bluth and fellow animators were a bit disgruntled with how they perceived Disney to be slacking, and so Don Bluth wanted to kind of break away and make an animated film that was more in the line of the golden era of Disney films, and stuff that had all those extra details that made it special, that made it more, more of a complete feeling, and all those little details that just make a world more believable, I think. And they felt like certain things were, they were cutting corners, shall we say, with certain films in the Disney canon at that point in time. And so there was, there's an exodus of quite a number of different animators who went with Don Bluth, and there was a production company, and the kind of deal was made for Secret of NIMH. They were also working on a short film in the 70s, I think, and took many years to complete, which is essentially a proof of concept, I guess, of we can do this without Disney. So Secret of NIMH arrived. And I love this because it's kind of an epic story that's told in 80 minutes, and the arena for it is very small, at least from our perspective. So you have again, I don't need to do like the full in-depth review because it's so hard not to get into because I'm so enamored with the film. But it's a story about a mother who has a sick child. She's a mouse, and she needs medicine, and she has to go on this kind of epic journey to kind of save her son. But it all takes place in this very small area. It's just like a farm with a house and a rose bush. And inside this rose bush is like a whole community of rats, the rats of NIMH. And they're these kind of different characters who are intelligent. And it's interesting, and the great commentary on this, the new commentary on this, what's his name? I don't want to name check the guy. Sam Summers, fantastic commentary. He talks a lot about the anthropomorphism in animated films now. Mickey Mouse is just inherently a talking mouse, and yet you'll have Pluto, the dog, who doesn't talk. It's just kind of inherent in those characters. But he talks about how in NIMH, the Secret of NIMH, the movie, you have these characters who talk like humans, but it's very much a characteristic of the rats of NIMH that they do talk and that they're intelligent. And then it's kind of worked into it that the main character, Mrs. Brisby, she knows some English because of her late husband. So this is interesting, and I was thinking about that when I was watching the film, how like the cat dragon is just like a monster who doesn't speak. And you'll have that in animated films where like it's talking animals, but there are other animals who just inexplicably don't talk and they behave more like animals. It's interesting stuff, but I love the film because it's dark and it's beautiful, and it feels weighty. Like it feels like there's real danger there. And when it's like this child who's sick and it's a ticking clock and their home is going to get destroyed by this tractor, which suddenly becomes like the Star Destroyer blowing up an entire world, I just love the epic scale in miniature form that kind of, is where all our characters are at play. So I loved the film. I felt like it could have done with a bit more, like another 5-10 minutes. There's a villainous character called Jenna who's really delicious, and he has a great performance, but could have done with a bit more of him. There's a kind of a heroic rat of NIMH who is, I forget his name now. There's Jenna, and then there was, is it Justin? Or was Justin no, again, it's tough. I'm watching a lot of films, and should we get, no, Timothy was the Jenna. Yeah, no, I don't know, but so there's kind of like a heroic, I feel like it's Justin, but Dom DeLuise plays this crow, and I don't know if his name is Justin. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. Should I just open up the booklet and I'll find out straight away, and I won't have to kind of spend the rest of the video talking about the things I want to talk about while also bugging my brain out, like in the back of my head, that I didn't get the name right. What was the name of that character? So we will refer to the booklet, which is a lovely booklet indeed. Okay, here we go. We have Peter Strauss as Justin. Yeah, so Justin is this more of kind of your typical hero, but it wasn't as much of him as I would have liked. And then the crow is Jeremy Justin. Dom DeLuise. Jeremy I could have done with a little less of. I could kind of feel he felt very much to me like Wilbur in Rescuers Down Under, John Candy's character. You get to see the cat dragon there on the inside artwork. Very cool. I like that. And it's a great package in terms of the artwork too. You get an original poster there, which is very nice. You see this poster in the background of the brand new interview with Don Bluth on this release. But yeah, I just feel like some of the characters at play could have had a bit more meat to them. But otherwise, I feel like it's a unique kind of film actually, 'cause it has its darker moments, it has its lighter moments, but just the quality of the animation is just luscious. And the transfer isn't great. I talked about that in my top 10 Eureka releases of 2024 video. But I love that they've put this together all the same. It's a studio supplied master, so I mean, it is what it is. But I've seen someone kind of talk more favorably about the transfer. They've said that they feel like you see all the grain and the detail. And I feel like it's a bit softer than I would like. And I don't know if DNR has been applied to it, digital noise reduction. But it does feel more kind of, I mean, looking at some of the AI abominations these days, which is just becoming more and more prevalent. A transfer like this is fantastic, because it feels a bit gritty and a bit rough around the edges, but it feels real. It feels like a film, that's been captured on 35mm and from these beautiful the beautiful cell animation and everything. I would just salivating at the thought of like a 4K restoration of a film like this. You know what I mean? Which goes to what I was going to talk about a little bit here, and that is previous animation and the Masters of Cinema collection. So the last one we had, which was actually fairly recently, spine number 271, Son of the White Mare, and other early works by Marcel Yankovic. So this is an amazing release. It's now out of print with the slipcover, but you can still get the regular edition. I did check actually. And this is a Hungarian animated film that is it a 4K? Yeah, 4K. It just looks unbelievable. Again, I'll say it when it's true. The transfer on this one is out of this world. The one on Secret of NIMH is, I wish it was better, but it's not terrible. It's not unwatchable. But this release is phenomenal. It's world cinema, a Hungarian animated film. It also comes with another feature called János Vitez. Great extras, there's a whole bunch of short films that have been restored as well and look fantastic. And when this came out, I was so excited that we might get to see more animation in the MOC line, because this is just this beautiful stuff. It really is an amazing film, an amazing release. Highly recommended. Just grab the regular release if it's a stunning film visually and thematically too. And the extras are out of this world. You just get a whole other feature film as an extra. János Vitez, really interesting film. The second half is really great. And then the short films are fantastic. But again, world cinema, right? And then the other one, the only other one in the collection, this goes all the way back to spine number 6 in the collection. And it is La Planète Sauvage, Fantastic Planet by René Laloux. This is out of print now, unfortunately. I think there's a Criterion that probably still is in print. And I think it has a different transfer as well, which I think is in some ways better than this one. Man, this feels so weighty because it's got the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the booklet is thick as hell. Like it's a quality release. If you can get it on eBay, man, I would recommend it. This is a stunning film. Man, talk about an experience. So again, this is a French animated film, which also has early short films from René Laloux. I don't know if they're early short films by René Laloux, but there's 5 short films. The one that's really great is How Wang Fo Was Saved. That is a masterpiece in short form. What a great story. An amazing release. And I just wish there was more animation in general, because there's so many animated films out there that just don't get the kind of time of day when it comes to physical media. Secret of NIMH, an American animated film, a bit more mainstream, even though the film itself didn't do too well when it came out. It's a thrill to see it, and what's interesting now is that this came out a month ago in December. We're now in like the first week of January 2025. This is sold out. This is now out of print, as far as I'm concerned. As I say, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I'm aware, is what I meant to say. Because I looked online, Eureka, out of stock. They don't say discontinued, but it's out of stock. Amazon, you can't get it. HMV, in stock soon. It might just be a stock issue, which is fine. But if it's true that this sold out in like a month, that's amazing, you know. And either way, it's in demand. It's being bought very frequently. And I love that because, as I said, yeah, this isn't a film that comes with an amazing 4K transfer, but the love and care that went into this release is so apparent from the beautiful packaging that's been put together for it using the original art. And the extras on this are just fantastic. I haven't listened to the commentary with Don Bluth yet, but I listened to the new one from Sam Summers, which is absolutely fantastic. I learned so much information about that I was kind of itching to know. The booklet has like all the stuff that I didn't learn elsewhere on the disc as well, which is a really nice companion piece. Who wrote that one? Features new writing on Don Bluth and Secret of NIMH by Peter C. Kunz, or Kunz. Yeah, he did a great essay. There's a new interview with Don Bluth, which was phenomenal. I loved hearing his insight into the film and that period of time in his life. And then also we have like an archival behind the scenes featurette, which is really informative and really snappy as well. And then two new video essays by Catherine Lester and Stacey Abbott. So, you know, a theatrical trailer. There's like a nice 12-minute stills gallery, which I just enjoyed watching and listening to the beautiful Jerry Goldsmith score. A fantastic score for this film. It's an amazing package and a great release. I love everything about it. And it just makes me happy as a fan of animation that this happened. And I really hope that we see more animated films in the Masters of Cinema collection, even just Eureka releasing them in general. But if we get more Don Bluth, that'd be fantastic. But I hope that this really has sold out just so it shows Eureka that there is a want for this, you know, and there are people out there who really love this stuff. And there's great animated films out there that deserve packages like this, that preserve them and wrap them up in a great package of, you know, supplemental material. And yeah, so I'm going to do a full review of this at some point because I want to, you know, talk about all the extras. I'm going to listen to the Don Bluth commentary probably this weekend. I say that as if you know what day of the week I'm recording this, but, you know, where I am now sitting recording this video this weekend, I'm going to listen to the Don Bluth commentary. But I feel like I've learned so much just from the extras that I've got through so far. And man, I just had a great time with this. The Secret of NIMH. Great, great stuff. I keep doing this because I just love the artwork so much, you know. Man, what a film. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you've seen this. Some of your favorite animated films, in fact. And I will see you in the next one.